Scrum isn't powered by Jira, it isn't powered by Ceremonies, and it isn't even powered by the framework itself. It's powered by people and the behaviours they bring into the room. You can have perfect sprint planning, perfect daily stand-ups, and perfect refinement, but if the team that you're working with don't embody the right values and behaviours, Scrum collapses into theatre. Hi guys, welcome back to Project Management 101. It's Dave here. It's great to see each and every one of you. Today we're closing the loop on the Scrum series that we've been working on for the last little while. We've talked about the ceremonies, we've talked about the roles. Today we're deep diving into the Scrum values and the behaviours that we need to absolutely smash it with our team. Before we get into that, I just want to thank each and every one of you for your positive engagement, continuing to grow the community and continuing to share our information with the wider delivery community. So thank you again so much. If you get some value out of today's video, why don't you consider hitting that like button? It really helps out the channel. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future uploads. We'll be continuing our great journey on everything delivery, Agile, Waterfall, Scrum, you name it, we're covering it because we're all about delivery here at Project Management 101. Make sure you stay tuned so you can continue your learning and growth journey. So, like I said, we've covered the roles, we've covered the ceremonies, but today we're going to dive into the thing that really actually makes Scrum work. The values and the people foundations of a real Scrum team. So we're going to start by talking about the 5 Scrum values, and we're going to talk about them like humans, not a textbook. Up first is courage, and I find this one fascinating. And this isn't about heroics, but it is about bravery in the team to maybe say, that's not clear. Maybe we can't deliver that safely. Maybe we need help to be able to achieve that. How about if we make a mistake? It takes courage to talk about all of those things. And I like to think of it like this. Courage is the antidote to silent failure. Up next is focus, and Scrum is a focus engine. And it's not do less, but it's more do the right less, if that makes sense. Think of it like this. Multitasking kills value, focus helps to protect it, and that's why the focus value lives and breathes at the heart of Scrum. Up next is commitment, not a contract, and not a detailed plan committing to deliver every single story that you've put into sprint planning. That's not how Scrum works. For me, commitment shows up like this. It's about showing up for the team every day and being committed together. Owning the outcome so we can maximise the value for our customers. How about caring for quality? That's really important for me and the teams that I work with. And how about being present in the work? With all the distractions in today's modern life, being present is more important now than it ever has been. And when it comes to delivering in Scrum, it's super important. And remember this, it's a team commitment, not an individual pledge of heroics and I'm going to commit and I'm going to do everything to make it happen. The team come together, formulate the goal, make a commitment towards it and do everything they can to achieve it. Things go wrong. That's just the reality of the world. Number 4 of the 5 Scrum values is respect, and think of respect like the glue, and it shows up every day in tiny little interactions. Think of it like this. How about listening without interrupting? How about assuming positive intent in discussions? How about valuing different skills equally? And that's a really challenging one. A really clever software engineer might think the Scrum Master doesn't add the value, but actually we should respect each other and we should demonstrate that behaviour. That's a really interesting nuance because we're a delivery channel. I've seen that happen multiple times. How about we just don't throw people under a bus? That might be a good idea. It happens in more teams than you'd care to think about. Scrum collapses the moment respect erodes, and that's not a good place to be. And value number 5 of the 5 Scrum values is openness, and this is the hardest of the values. And openness shows up in transparent around blockers, transparent around progress, transparent around uncertainty, and transparent around decision making. Openness and transparency turns a group of individuals into a learning system. So they're the 5 Scrum values. I hope you enjoyed the way that we talked about them, and I hope it landed well and resonated with you. If you're a new Scrum Master, maybe that's new to you, so great, have a little think about the way that your team are showing up and you're coaching those Scrum values into your actual squad. And if maybe you've been around in the Scrum world for a little bit longer, drop a comment below, let all of the other Scrum Masters know. How do you teach these into your teams? How do you hold your teams to account and drive continuous improvement activity? We'd love to hear about it, and let's continue to grow and learn from each other. We've nailed the Scrum values. We understand the roles. We understand all the ceremonies. Let's think about the people that show up to make Scrum truly successful. And really, this is where it stops being a bunch of processes and really drives into that people-focused, bottom-up process and framework that we implement with our teams to drive great customer experience. Most high-performing teams share a set of behavioural foundations that they just embody and live and breathe, and it'd be really great to reflect on your teams and see how you're doing against this. Are you comfortable with some of these areas? Have you got coaching and growth opportunities that you can dive into with your teams? Let us know in the comments how you get on as you start to analyse what your teams look like and where you've got areas for improvement. Maybe drop any tips for any other Scrum Masters of how you've solved some of these discussions or challenges in your team. It'd be great to hear from you. So for me, the first one is around comfort with ambiguity. High-performing teams don't panic. Ambiguity is rife in most businesses, in most industries, and being able to understand the ambiguity and have tools and techniques that they can calmly understand, drive forward actions, drive forward clarity, really demonstrates high-performing people behaviour, and that's so prevalent in an environment of Scrum. Think of it like this. They adapt to change without drama, staying calm, but driving forward towards an outcome that will ultimately allow them to meet a sprint goal. Up next for me is outcome-driven thinking. Scrum is not about just delivering tasks. It's around delivering value. So great discussions. Why do we need to do this thing? What's it going to drive? Is it really going to unlock customer value? Is it the right decision and the right piece of work to work on right now? Maybe using that courage value, challenging. Does this work serve our sprint goal? Is it really the right thing to do right now? And how about the work being framed around impact and not activity? This will stop the team becoming a ticket machine. Up next is T-shaped collaboration. This is where you have expertise in your area, but you're willing to work outside. You're willing to coach and grow others in the team, so we grow together. That could be the Scrum Master helping people to understand the processes that we need to go through to get through the release management process, for example. Or it could be a software engineer helping a quality assurance engineer to understand the way the code's written to help the quality assurance engineer to write better automation tests and really integrate both sets of code so the quality's higher earlier. Things like that are great examples of that T-shaped collaboration. It could be the product owner helping the team to understand some of the commercial benefits that we might not necessarily understand. All of those collaboration points are really great to grow culture, behaviour and values and really lived behaviour within a team of individuals to drive them towards high performance. Up next is empathy and high quality communication. Communication is absolutely key within Scrum. We've talked about transparency and we've talked about communication in between all of the different team roles within Scrum. And it shows up as a personal behavioural kind of value within the team. Open, clear communications. We're not here to criticise. We can ask questions. We should have courage and be respectful. But that clear communication, I've got an issue. This is the issue. This is what I've done about it so far. I need some help. Great. Just allows everybody to understand it. But being a clear, concise communicator is a really great way of driving high performance within a Scrum team. And that behaviour really underpins Scrum as a total framework. Up next is a curiosity and learning mindset. Scrum is built on empiricism. We inspect, we adapt, and we improve. High performers ask questions, explore new techniques, bring ideas to retros, and treat every sprint as a chance to level up. And for me, curiosity allows your team to keep evolving rather than stagnating. Next is resilience and a healthy attitude to failure. It's important. Fail fast, learn from it, but have a good sense of resilience, because problems do occur and sometimes we make the wrong decision. It's the way that we deal with it. We pick ourselves up, we learn from it, we understand the lessons that are important, and we make adaptations in the team. And then we stay resilient, knowing that that learning is a great growth opportunity for us. We drive forward towards the customer value out into production. Issues happen all the time. It's work. It's the world of work. Software's hard, delivery's hard, complex organisations are hard to adapt to, and all of those things have a bearing. So the resilience and the strength of mind to recognise, okay, we failed, but that's cool, we're going to learn from it, we're going to adapt our processes, our kind of approach and our communication to make sure that next time we're facing that situation, we're going to smash it, we're going to deal with it better, we're going to move forward in a different way, but we're going to love that we're learning from that failure. And then the final kind of behaviour for me is that customer-centric pride. We're here to serve the customer ultimately, whether the customer's an internal team or an external customer, maybe you're running a product roadmap. That pride and customer centricity running through all of your behaviours, traits and conversations allows us to maximise the value. It's keeping the customer front of mind, and it really drives a better conversation. It's not just about making money. Making money should always be a byproduct. It's about putting the customer first, doing the best thing for them, and with that great experience drives loyalty, it drives continued growth, and the money then you make it because of byproducts of the great thing that you're building with the customer centre of mind. That's my personal value. I see many organisations really struggle to get that right. It's all about getting money in the bank, right? But the truth and one of the really underpinning behaviours of agility is about the customer. And now I just want to touch on how these values and behaviours really bring to life the Scrum framework. So I'm going to talk it through from kind of each point. So when I'm thinking about like the daily stand-up, so the daily stand-up only really works if you drive the openness value and the respect value through its core. We're going to be transparent within our openness value, and we're going to be respectful to all of the people in the team. Sprint planning really only works well if you've got the courage and the openness, so the transparency but the courage to be able to ask questions and challenge come to life. You underpin that particular ceremony with those two values. Refinement only truly works if people feel safe to ask those silly questions. There's no such thing as a silly question, so ask it. And Scrum and the people and values and the behaviours that we drive through our culture are so important to drive a safe environment for silly questions to be asked. Retrospectives really only work when commitment and openness are really driven to the core of the team. So think about those two next time you're in a retrospective. How about the sprint backlog? Well, that only really works if focus is protected. So the value there for that one is focus. How about the sprint goal? Well, that really only works if the team are collaborative and value driven, putting the customer first. And how about continuous improvement activity throughout the team? And that only drives through if curiosity and resilience are at the heart of the team. So there we have it. We've closed out the Scrum Foundation series. We've covered each of the Scrum roles, the development team, the Scrum Master, the product owner. We've covered the ceremonies, the daily stand-up, sprint planning, sprint refinement, the sprint demos and the sprint retrospective. And today we've talked about the Scrum values and what I believe are the important people behaviours. I really hope that you've got some value out of learning about Scrum. Maybe you're brand new to the world of project management and you've been working in a waterfall, Prince 2, PMP type environment. Scrum is an exciting, fast-paced change away from that governance-heavy waterfall world. But equally it leans a lot on those waterfall techniques. So don't throw them out of the window. Think about how you can integrate Scrum into your daily lives working in a waterfall project management environment. And drop a comment below. Let us know how you get on. Let us know which ones you used, how it worked for you, and how your team responded. If you're a Scrum Master and you've been doing it for a while, drop a comment below. Share with the community. If I missed anything that I should be talking about, let's share with the community and continue to grow that shared knowledge. Make sure you smash that like button if you got some value out of today's video. It really helps out the channel. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future uploads. We're going to be diving into more great topics in project, program and delivery management. I'm Dave. Thanks for watching Project Management 101. It means so much to me. I can't wait to see each and every one of you next week. From chaos to clarity. Take care.